Hello again, all you Toyota fans. Here we have a Toyota MRS, the third generation MR2. I think in Japan it was called an MR2, and then I think maybe an MR2 Spider in the US. So I guess I always just called it an MRS, like this label says. No packaging, it just came screwed to this base, so I took it off already, compared to these photographs. So this is the third generation of that MR2 line, and it was changed to, well, the S is the Midship Runabout Sports. That's the acronym for MRS, and it's obviously gone to a convertible version. It's powered by a 1.8 liter four-cylinder in the back, making around 140 horsepower. So not a fast car, obviously. I've never been in one of these. I don't know if they handled well or not. In theory it should, being a mid-engine, but I don't know. Okay, so let's see what we have. It's a nice metallic. Reminds me of Christmas, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to show on your screen. Nice black detail here. It's part of the casting, painted nicely. A little fuel filler. Panel gaps are pretty good. Yeah, the wheels, I guess they're close enough to either of those. Maybe it's a compromise between those two photographs, because they don't look quite as thin as that left photo, but they're tapering to this point like that left photo. Yeah, anyways, no brake system on Kyosho blister packs. The stance is a little bit high though. It looks higher than the photograph. Unfortunately, it's riveted together, so unless you take it apart, it's going to be hard to change the stance on this, which I'm not willing to do. Nice, interesting treads. I don't know if they're realistic looking, but they're interesting. I feel like the direction is backwards. Not this one, but that, well, it could be an illusion, the way I'm looking at it. Okay, well, we have some orange on this indicator here, or it's just probably a reflector, I don't know. A little black paint in these vents, a little texture, black paint on that. You know what? That first photograph doesn't have a rectangle here, so I kind of feel like this should be a license plate, but it's painted black. Possibly in certain markets, maybe this is JDM style. Not sure. I've never seen this badge either. So I'm gonna guess this might be a JDM edition, because I think in North America it would have had a Toyota badge, am I right? I never paid attention. Please leave a comment if you know. Ooh, what's going on? Oh, thankfully those are supposed to be some bumps for the fluid. I thought it was a giant paint rash bubble. But it does look like, yeah, I just hit it. Or was that gunk? I don't know. Some weird stuff going on here. Some paint rash, I think. These are really nice headlights. You got a little ribbing there on the back side, the orange there, the depth of it, and the way it's molded, it looks like a light bulb, at least from the front view. So that's nice. Wiper blades are painted black. The casted in mirrors are okay. This side, no major problems. The interior, typical Kyosho. Nice molded details. Just all the same color though. Okay. And the nice rear end. We have thick red tail lights with a little silver printing for the backups. Red for the third brake light. Some ribbing here over the engine cover. Some ribbing here, some ribbing here, and again, it's a black license plate. That is odd. Okay. A little tiny exhaust part of the bottom there. Alright. Well, it's alright, I guess. I don't know. It's just that this generation of MR2 or MRS is, I don't like it as much as the first two generations. The first generation I used to ride and go to school, high school. My neighbor had one and he'd bring me to school sometimes in that thing. So it handled like a go-kart. It was really fun to ride in that car with my neighbor. Then the second generation just looks cool. I like the way the second generation looks, but for some reason the appearance of this one doesn't really get me. He looks kind of like a frog, in particular with this green, but those bug-eye lights. What do you guys think? Which generation do you guys like? The first, second, or third the most? Alright, anyways, enough jibber-jabber. Let's talk, show some other cars here. So the first one that would make sense would be the second generation, and this is by Pico. It has these pop-up headlights, which are fine if they stay in the up position. Not really a fan of them in the down position because of the panel gaps. That's one of my gripes about this hobby. But obviously people like it. I'm pulling out this Kyosho next. It's a Porsche 914. I kind of feel a lot of this vibe in this car. Something about it. Alright. Here's a Honda Beat. It's a K-Class car. So that actually is how small that thing is in real life. It only has a 660cc motor in it, and it's minimal dimensions for tax reasons in Japan. Here's a Mazda Miata, or Yunos Roadster, or I don't know. I think they're just called Mazda Miatas now, this generation. I think that's the 4th generation. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I guess we'll do an S2000. It's possible maybe these were cross-shopped if you were in the market for a sporty, you know, two-seater. But the Honda S2000 would have blown away the MRS, I think. What do you guys think? I would have to imagine the MRS is a sporty car, but the S2000 is an actual sports car, at least in the handling department. Maybe not in a straight line. Okay, let's go with the top view here. Alright, while you're looking at that, I'm going to set up the next coaster here. And we'll pull this off. Alright, well, if you like the MRS, this is a pretty good representation of it. I'm really hoping that some premium brand will do the very first generation MR2, the one that looks like a wedge, preferably in red, because that's the one my neighbor had as a kid. Sorry for all the cat hair all the time, it's always dusty. I do vacuum this thing out every now and then, but within hours it's just a mess again. Alright, back to the MR2, the original one. Yeah, hopefully someone will do it. I'm pretty sure someone will do it sooner or later, because, you know, it's a pretty good story behind the MR2 and MRS. If it's spanning 3 generations, there's gotta be a lot of people that like this series of cars. Alright guys, well, I'll see you the next time around. Thanks for watching.